It happened in less than 3 seconds. 3 seconds, that's all it took for Clara's world to snap in half. One moment she was standing in the crowded school hallway, clutching the fragile necklace that once belonged to her late mother, and the next, she heard it. Crack. Tiny pearls scattered across the glossy floor like falling tear drops, and standing over them were the 3 girls who had tormented her for months, smirking, laughing, mocking. They thought they had broken her spirit. They didn't know they had just awakened a storm. Clara wasn't just some quiet girl from a farm. She was a black belt in taekwondo, trained by her father, who always said, "Strength isn't in your fists, it's in knowing when to use them." She had spent her whole life feeding chickens at dawn, hauling hay bales twice her weight, and training barefoot on the rough barn floor. But she also carried something delicate, a heart stitched with memories of her mother, who passed away when she was just 8. That necklace was the last piece she had of her. Every night she held it against her chest and whispered, "I'm doing fine, Mom." And now it lay broken at her feet. The ringleader, a tall redhead named Vanessa, scoffed, "Oops, looks like your little thrift shop trinket couldn't handle reality." Clara's knees hit the ground as she gathered the shattered beads with trembling fingers. Her vision blurred, not from fear, but from something far more dangerous, rage. But even then, she didn't move, she didn't speak. She remembered her father's voice, "Control, never strike first, but if they touch your soul, you don't step back." The 3 bullies weren't satisfied. They wanted to see her cry. They kicked one of the pearls across the hallway and laughed louder. Students whispered, some filmed, others turned away. No one stepped in. That was the final straw. Clara rose slowly, her fist clenched, her jaw firm, and with a voice as steady as thunder she said, "You shouldn't have done that." Vanessa rolled her eyes and shoved her shoulder. "Or what? You gonna cry to your cows?" What happened next was a blur to everyone except Clara. One swift sidestep, palm block, elbow strike. Vanessa flew back, crashing into the lockers. The second girl lunged. Clara spun into a perfect roundhouse kick, sending her sprawling to the floor. The third tried to grab her from behind, but was met with a backward heel stomp that made her scream. Gasps filled the hall. Some students cheered, others froze. By the time teachers arrived, the 3 bullies were clutching bruised ribs and sprained wrists, wailing dramatically. Clara stood still, calm, composed, breathing steadily as her father had taught her. She didn't look proud. She didn't look guilty. She looked free. But consequences came quickly. Principal's office, suspension, threats of legal action. The bullies' parents demanded punishment. "She's dangerous. She belongs in jail," one mother shrieked. Clara stayed silent until the principal asked, "Why didn't you walk away?" She reached into her pocket and pulled out the broken necklace. "This belonged to my mother," she said softly. "They didn't just break a chain, they broke her memory, and I won't let anyone crush that." Silence filled the room. Then something unexpected happened. The security footage was reviewed. It showed every shove, every insult, every escalation by them, not her. It showed Clara defending herself only when cornered. The case shifted. Parents who once blamed Clara fell quiet. One even muttered, "Well, they kinda deserved it." In the end, the bullies were transferred to another school. Clara returned, but something had changed, not just about how others saw her, but how she saw herself. People who once ignored her smiled now. Some apologized for never stepping in. Younger kids approached her in the cafeteria and whispered, "You're my hero." Clara didn't see herself as one. She saw herself as someone who finally stood up, not just for her mother, but for every silent kid who swallowed their pain. She spent her weekend restringing the necklace herself, bead by bead. When she was done, she didn't put it around her neck. She mounted it in a small glass frame and hung it above her bedroom door with a handwritten note. "Mom, I didn't break. I became unbreakable." From that day forward, she didn't wear the necklace. She wore the strength it gave her. Sometimes life pushes us until we crack, but inside every crack is a choice: fall apart or stand stronger than ever before. Clara chose strength without hate, power without cruelty, courage without regret, and that's what makes her story unforgettable.